Hey guys, it's me again. I know it's been a little while since I've posted a video, so I figured maybe this would be a good candidate. I actually should have probably filmed more of this, but I'm suffering a bit from these stupid allergies, the seasonal allergies that I get every year. Um, but yeah, basically, I have this Onkyo here that was not turning on properly. That was given to me from a customer, and the problem, I guess, now since I fixed it, of course I know what it is, but um, the output stage on one of the channels was damaged. A couple of components were busted, and not even just the output stage, but I guess the driver and the output stage for that channel was busted, and it wouldn't make this amp turn on. But anyways, I'm trying to keep this short, and I'll show you basically what I did more or less, and explain a couple little things, and hopefully that'll be good for a little short video. I might film a couple more things this week because I have another thing that I got to repair and might be interesting for some people. So that'll come whenever, sometime this week, and maybe the same day. I don't know. But yeah, here we'll go into it right away now with the Onkyo.
This is the HT9 HT-R993. It looks like it's a pretty recent model. Even still has, this is the sticker that you would pretty much see when you get it out of the box, and my customer kept it on, so has all the branding and all the features that it comes with. So it has Dolby Atmos, it's a 7.1 system, and a bunch of other stuff, 4K support, which is nice, and apparently has Spotify, I guess, built in somehow. So I didn't mess with it too much. I pretty much fixed what had to be fixed, but I didn't mess with any of these features at all. So basically, yeah, but I'm gonna spin this around because the stuff that I need to show you is kind of on the other side for you to see. So I'm gonna spin this around and I'll show you what the heck happened. Here we have the back of the Onkyo. As you can see, there's quite a few options this thing has. So you got, I think there's like 6 inputs here, HDMI inputs, and you got 2 outputs. But yeah, basically it's pretty much standard what you see with most home theater systems. You got center, front, surround, rear, and then you have a second zone actually. So for example, if let's say this is in your man cave or this is in your living room, and you have, let's say, a speaker, or I guess a set of speakers in another room, or maybe on your balcony, that's what you would use this for. This is the zone 2. Yeah, and then the rest is okay. We have subwoofer outputs, pre-outs. We have a separate what's it called, output just for the zone 2, and a bunch of other stuff, antenna, digital audio, Ethernet, pretty much standard, some analog stuff also. I think does it have a phono? Yeah, it does actually. That's nice. Has a turntable input, so you can actually even plug in the turntable, and it has a phono preamp inside somewhere in the circuit. So this is definitely very nice to have. But yeah, basically, so what happened was, I'll show you quickly. Way down over here, see if I can zoom this in. Yeah, so those 2 transistors were shot, this guy and this guy. These are Sanken power whatever BJT transistors. I forgot the numbers exactly, but you can probably see them from here. 2SA, this is the 2SA, this is the 2SA 1695, and this is the 2SC, what's the number? I'll read it for you. This is the 2SC 2468, I think. No, sorry, 2SC 4468 and the 2SA 1695. So 1695 and the 4468. So Sanken power transistors. So basically these 2 were shorted. I replaced them, and the way I replaced them, if anybody's wondering, because this amplifier itself is not really designed in a nice way so that you can change those 2 parts. So what I did was I cut off the leads from the old one. I kept them pretty low, so I cut the leads off here at the bottom, and then I basically stuck on the new one, extended the leads enough to reach to the ones that were cut already, and I just tacked them on, soldered them without having to take all this apart, because I know if there was more damage, you would have to take this entire thing apart just to get to anything that's under there, really. So yeah, I saved myself quite a bit of a headache to do that, by doing that. The rest is pretty standard with some emitter resistors and whatever, and there's some other stuff for the other channel. So you have, this is a pair for one channel, another pair, all the way until you get to the end. So those two were replaced. And then on the driver, we had an electrolytic down here that I changed with the blue cap. That's the Nikon that I put in. It was a resistor also that went open. Part of the, this is the driver and this is the actual whatever output stage. So a couple of things here, resistor, capacitor, and then behind here, I'm gonna turn this around now again. I'll show you what the hell is around there once again. But here's the back side of the driver that was actually also partly blown up. So there's these two surface mount transistors also. These are BJTs actually, but they're low power and everything, but they're general purpose audio. So these two were shorted and I had to replace those ones. And then I replaced one here as a precaution because one of them is like, has to be like a matching pair, because I think it's like a differential input or something. So I put a matching pair in. And everything else also, yeah, the resistor was changed. I don't remember where exactly the pads were, but the other thing I did notice on this entire board, actually, even on the channels that were supposedly working, was we had many broken connections. So on the driver pair transistors, the big ones, these here, so these were all cracked. Those connections were cracked everywhere. So again, here, and then try not to short anything here, there, and then we had also here, and then the same pretty much until the end. So those were all patched up and fixed up so that there was no more cracks. I checked everything else also. It doesn't look like there's any more crack connections. Yeah, because I was starting to wiggle some of these components and I was like, what the heck is going on? They were so loose. And I flipped this board around and I see that the connections were broken everywhere. So I was like, my God, this thing probably wasn't even working really that well anyways to begin with. So I did him a nice favor and I've pretty much fixed all those broken connections. Even the support, believe it or not, the support here for this board, because these two are, these 2 points here, hang on, where else is the thing? These 2 points here are for the bracket that's in the back here. It's not connected to anything, it's just the support. Even these were actually broken, the connections over here. The solder was cracked, so I fixed that up as well. And the last thing I just did, actually, right before, just before finishing it off, was I did a quick bias adjustment. So to do a bias adjustment on this thing, you basically take your probes, you attach it to these terminals here, depending on the channel that you're fixing. So that white little connector with the 2 pins sticking up over here. But you want to put, actually, according to the Onkyo service manual, I'll show you that in a second, you want to put a 100 ohm resistor in series with the probes that you're measuring. So you'd have to put the red probe, for example, on this tip, and then the other tip here would have to go on, let's say, the positive leg of this connector that's marked on the silk screen, which is positive, which is negative. And then the same for the negative probe. You put the negative probe on here for the second resistor, because you have 2 probes. So you put the negative probe here, the black probe, and then you take this point and then you attach it onto the negative post on the block down there. So pretty much just followed the service manual for that. And the spec for the bias adjusting is about 7 millivolts. So it was pretty much in spec. I didn't have to turn it too much, so that was okay. But yeah, let me go to my computer actually, and I'm going to show you the service manual on the page that I followed to do that bias adjustment. So here's the page that overviews the bias adjustment. Basically, this is adjustment procedure, adjustment of idling current. So basically, I just followed pretty much what this says, and it shows everything. So as you can see, you have the 2 100 ohm resistors, and they have to be at least 1/4 watt in series with your probes across the test points. And then it tells you even here where they all are and the numbers and everything. So pretty much just have to follow what this says, and you should be good to go. I think it was the other page. Yeah, no, there's some other stuff. But yeah, just basically follow this and you should be good to go. And I found this just on Google, whatever. It's not a big deal. But yeah, actually, I'm going to give this thing a quick power on. I'll show you guys now that it powers on and that it does everything it needs to
If I power it on, I think it's plugged in, yeah. So if I power this on, first click, second click, and we should see on our monitor in a second. Oh, I forgot to plug in the cable, the HDMI cable. Where is it? That HDMI cable is right here. So if I plug that in, that's gonna go in the back. Yeah, and there's the other click for the relay output. I think it's this one here. Yeah, here we go. So let's see what happens. Yeah, there you go. And that's the, basically, because I don't have an input on right now, but that's just the splash screen of the Onkyo when there's no input. But I'm gonna put some sound to it in a second here in a couple minutes, and I'm gonna test it myself. But I would say this is pretty much good to go, and yeah, it was a good repair. It took a little bit of time, but I got it done. I have to put a fan. There's a fan that comes back here that goes on the top, and it's a pretty good design because I do feel a little bit of heat, so the fan will help disperse some of that heat. And of course we have our friends over here, these stupid DSP chips from Texas Instruments. They're here, all right. Yeah, they're still around. So you got this one and you got this one. Actually, so this one has two. So if ever this thing has problems with these chips in the future, because we know that from these Onkyos especially, they have a lot of problems with these chips. So this one doesn't seem to have that issue right now, so hopefully it never gets that issue. But yeah, I would say that's a repair, and we'll be good to go. So I would say if you guys like this video, please like, subscribe, and all that stuff. And if you want to leave a comment, put one down below. And if not, I'll catch you guys on the next one, all right? So stay safe, take care, bye-bye.